Silent Night promo, week of December 29th, 2025. What is up, Salemites? Welcome back to the channel where we live, breathe, and occasionally scream at our screens over everything days of our lives. Can you believe we are at the tail end of 2025? As we prepare to ring in the new year, the air in Salem isn't filled with just champagne bubbles and confetti. It's thick with the scent of betrayal, hospital antiseptic, and the cold, hard logic of the DiMera family. If you thought the holidays were going to be all about cocoa and carols, you clearly haven't been paying attention to Kristen DiMera, the angel of death. Kristen's homicidal hesitation. The centerpiece of this week is a scene that feels like it's been ripped straight out of a Shakespearean tragedy, but with that classic soap opera twist. We find Kristen DiMera, the incomparable Stacey Haydock, standing over Peter's hospital bed. The rhythmic beep, beep, beep of the heart monitor is the only thing filling the silence. Now, the official word is that Kristen is torn. She's undecided. She's conflicted. But let's look past the PR spin, shall we? If we look at the fire in Kristen's eyes, this isn't just about mercy killing. Kristen wants Peter dead. Period. Think about the psychology here. For years, Kristen has been a woman driven by an almost pathological need for control and love. But Peter is a living, breathing liability. He is the physical manifestation of her mistakes, a witness to her crimes, and the one person who can dismantle the fragile house of cards she's built. Every time that ventilator pushes air into his lungs, Kristen's pulse quickens, not out of hope, but out of sheer, unadulterated terror. I've seen some of you in the comments saying, "Oh, Kristen still has a soul. She's just scared." I disagree. I think Kristen's hesitation isn't born out of a lingering affection for Peter. It's born out of the fear of the finality. Once you pull that plug, there is no going back. You aren't just a schemer anymore. You're a cold-blooded killer in the eyes of the law. She's staring at that tube, weighing the cost of a murder charge against the cost of Peter waking up and ruining her life. It's a chilling calculation, and Stacey Haydock plays that predator waiting to strike energy so perfectly. E.J. DiMera, the voice of cold, hard reason. And then, enter the man who has replaced his heart with a DiMera family crest, E.J. In the promo for the week of December 29th, E.J. doesn't mince words. He looks at Kristen, woe is spiraling, and basically says, "Get it over with." His exact words. I think we should put an end to this right now before Peter can do any more damage to this family. Let's unpack E.J.'s mindset. He isn't being the villain here in his own mind. He's being the protector. E.J. has always been the one to clean up the messes, to bury the bodies, sometimes literally, and to ensure the DiMera name remains untarnished. To E.J., Peter isn't a human being with a soul. He's a security breach. My theory: why is E.J. pushing so hard? Is it just for the family? I suspect E.J. knows more than he's letting on. Maybe Peter has leverage on E.J. too. Or maybe E.J. is just tired of Kristen's emotional volatility. He knows that as long as Peter is alive, Kristen is a liability. By forcing her to pull the plug, E.J. effectively ties Kristen to him forever through a shared, lethal secret. It's a masterclass in DiMera manipulation. I want to hear from you guys. Do you think E.J. is right in the twisted logic of Salem? Is killing Peter the smart move? Or is E.J. leading Kristen down a path of no return just to satisfy his own need for order? The November leak, a ghost from the future. Now, here is where it gets delicious. We have to talk about the ghost of promos past. Remember that teaser dropped back in November? The one that showed Peter Muchal waking up and absolutely shredding Kristen. This changes everything for our viewing experience this week. While we watch Kristen hover her hand over the power switch of that ventilator, we know she fails. Or, perhaps more interestingly, we know that Peter is stronger than her desire to see him gone. The leaked footage shows Peter waking up, and he isn't looking for a hug. He's looking for blood. When Kristen tries to offer one of her patented, tearful apologies, I know the ones where she blames her upbringing or her unbreakable love, Peter isn't buying it. He blasts her for every single betrayal. History lesson: this feels like a callback to the classic Stefano, Marlena John era dynamics. The DiMeras have a long history of resurrections and awakenings. Whenever a DiMera wakes up from a coma, they usually come back with a singular focus: revenge. Peter isn't going to just expose Kristen. He's going to try to dismantle her entire existence. The theory of the fake-out, What if Kristen does try to kill him? And that's exactly what wakes him up. Imagine the drama. She pulls the plug, the alarm goes off, she panics, and suddenly his hand grabs her wrist. Talk about a New Year's Eve jump scare. New Year's Eve in Salem, a tale of two cities. As we move into the actual New Year's Eve episodes, December 31st, January 1st, the show is promising us a mix of disturbing news and sweet moments. This is the classic days formula that I love. On one side of town, you'll have the couples Mabe, Steve and Kayla, or even a bit of tension-filled fun with Chad and Abigail celebrating the hope of a new year. There will be champagne, there will be kisses at midnight, and there will be that New Year's joy. But on the other side of town, in the DiMera shadow, the news will be disturbing. What is the disturbing news? 1. The medical miracle. Maybe Peter's recovery is faster than anyone expected, and the disturbing part is that he's already talking to the authorities. 2. A new threat, or maybe, just as Kristen thinks she's safe, a new DiMera secret comes to light. 3. The disappearance. What if Peter's body disappears from the hospital? Nothing is more disturbing than a missing almost corpse on New Year's Eve. I personally think the disturbing news will involve a legal shift. Perhaps Melinda Trask or a new dog gets wind of what's happening in that hospital room. Imagine Kristen being hauled off in handcuffs just as the ball drops in Times Square. Now that is how you start 2026 with a bang. Final thoughts and predictions. This week is going to be a roller coaster of psychological warfare. Kristen is at her most dangerous when she's cornered, and right now, she's backed into a wall by a man in a coma and her own brother. My bold prediction, Kristen will ultimately fail to pull the plug, not because of a change of heart, but because she's interrupted. This interruption will save Peter's life but seal Kristen's fate. Peter will wake up in the first week of January, and the joy of the new year will evaporate as he begins a scorched earth campaign against Kristen and EJ. Kristen's desire to kill Peter is the ultimate admission that she has lost the game. She's no longer playing for love, she's playing for survival. And as we know in Salem, when a DiMera plays for survival, everyone else better duck for cover. What do you think, Salem fans? Is Kristen truly capable of murdering Peter in cold blood, or is she just DiMera talking? Does EJ have an ulterior motive for wanting Peter gone now? And who are you most excited to see share a New Year's kiss while all this drama is unfolding? Drop your theories in the comments below. Read every single one of them. And I want to know if you agree with my homicidal Kristen theory. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Days of Our Lives breakdowns. Part 2, Days of Our Lives, A Christmas of Chaos and Reunion. Weekly recap, December 22nd, December 26, 2025. The holiday season in Salem is rarely peaceful, but the week of Christmas 2025 took holiday drama to an entirely new level. From a dark, chilling confrontation in the DiMera crypt to heartwarming and surprising reunions at the Horton house, the residents of Salem experienced a roller coaster of emotions. The return of a ghost, Peter Blake's dangerous game. The biggest shock of the week involved the long-awaited and terrifying return of Peter Blake. For years, Peter had been a shadow in the DiMera history books, but his reappearance in the flesh brought nothing but peril. Kristen DiMera, usually the one pulling the strings, found herself in a position of uncharacteristic vulnerability. The week began with Kristen's shock at seeing her brother after so much time. However, the emotional toll of their captivity in the family crypt combined with the damp, freezing conditions finally broke her. Kristen succumbed to a dangerously high fever and lost consciousness, leaving her brothers in a state of panic. While the DiMera siblings fought to wake her, Theo Carver remained the most skeptical of the group. His instincts were proven correct when he realized that Peter wasn't there to save them. He was the one who had orchestrated their nightmare. Blood and bones in the crypt. The tension reached a breaking point midweek. As Theo confronted Peter, a chaotic chase ensued through the labyrinthine tunnels of the DiMera crypt. The setting was macabre, with the group surrounded by the remains of their ancestors. The danger escalated when Peter revealed a hidden weapon, a medical syringe filled with an unknown substance. In a terrifying scuffle, Peter managed to overpower Theo, leaving him unconscious on the cold stone floor. Kristen, recovering just enough to see the danger her family was in, had to make a choice. In a moment of desperation, she grabbed a large, ancient bone from the floor of the tomb and struck Peter over the head. The blow was enough to incapacitate him, finally giving the captives their window of escape, freedom and heartbreak for Kristen. By Christmas Eve, the DiMeras finally emerged from the darkness and back into the light of Salem. However, for Kristen, there was no warm welcome waiting. Instead of gratitude for her role in saving the family, she was met with the cold fury of Brady Black. Despite the fact that Kristen had risked her own safety for the sake of their daughter, Rachel, Brady remained unmoved. The confrontation was a bitter reminder of their fractured relationship. While Kristen hoped for a Christmas miracle of reconciliation, Brady's refusal to acknowledge her sacrifice left her isolated during what should have been a celebratory return. A Horton miracle, the hanging of the ornaments. Over at the Horton estate, the mood was initially somber. Julie Williams, the matriarch of the family, was ready to cancel the annual Christmas celebration. With Chad DiMera missing and Jack and Jennifer away in Boston with the children, the house felt too empty for festivities. However, Days fans know that Christmas in Salem always provides a miracle. Chad's rescue just in time for the tree trimming, Chad was found and returned safely, much to the relief of the entire town. The Boston surprise, Jack and Jennifer surprised Julie by returning home early, children in tow. Unexpected guests, the joy doubled when Lonnie Price and Eli Grant made a surprise appearance, bringing a much-needed sense of family unity to the household. The most touching moment occurred when Jeremy stepped in to help Julie with the fragile, historic ornaments. The tradition of hanging the name-engraved ornaments survived another year, proving that the Horton spirit is unbreakable. Salem odds and ends, bitter news and shocking secrets. While some were celebrating, others were dealing with the harsh realities of young love and medical mysteries. Tate and Holly's heartbreak. Tate Black had to break the news to Holly Jonas that their planned holiday getaway to Paris was off. Tate felt a deep responsibility to stay behind and care for his sister, Rachel Black. While Holly was devastated, Rachel received a different kind of holiday cheer, a long-awaited visit from Marlena Evans. The cliffhanger. The week ended on a massive bombshell involving the next generation of Salem residents. Sarah Horton delivered news to Chanel Dupree that is set to change everything. While the details are still unfolding, rumors are swirling throughout Salem that both